You reach for your phone. There is no reason to. You checked it 40 seconds ago. Nothing has changed. No new message. No new alert. Nothing waiting for you at all. And yet your thumb is already moving. You unlock the screen, scroll for 3 seconds, feel a small flicker of nothing, and lock it again. Then, before you have even set it down, you feel the pull to check it once more. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are running a program that is roughly 2 million years old, and it is doing exactly what it was built to do. That pull you feel is not really about the phone. It is about information. And to the brain you inherited, information was the difference between living and dying. Picture the world your mind was actually designed for. Not offices, not apps. A small band of humans on an open landscape, surviving on what they knew. Where the water was, which plants were safe, whether the person across the fire was angry with you, whether a shape in the grass was wind or something with teeth. In that world, the humans who craved information out-survived the ones who did not. Curiosity was not a personality trait. It was armor. The brain that constantly asked what is new, what changed, what do I need to know was the brain that lived long enough to pass itself down to you. So your hunger for the next update, the next scroll, the next small piece of news is not a modern defect. It is ancient survival hardware. The problem is what it is now pointed at. To understand what your phone is really doing to you, you have to meet a man who never held one. In the 1950s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner put animals in boxes with a lever. Press the lever, get a food pellet. Simple. The animals learned quickly, pressed when hungry, and stopped when full. Predictable reward, predictable behavior. Then Skinner changed one thing. He made the reward unpredictable. Now the lever paid out only sometimes. Not every press. Not on any schedule the animal could learn. Just sometimes. And the behavior exploded. The animals pressed that lever compulsively, far more than when the reward was reliable. They pressed when they were not even hungry. Skinner had found something he called a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, which is a long way of saying one simple thing. Nothing hooks a brain harder than a reward that might come, but might not. Certainty is boring. Maybe is a trap. Hold that word. Maybe. Because it explains the exact shape of the thing in your hand. Now go one layer deeper, into the chemistry. There is a molecule in your brain called dopamine, and almost everyone gets it wrong. You have been told dopamine is the pleasure chemical, the thing that makes you feel good when you get a reward. It is not. Not really. The neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz spent years recording single dopamine neurons in the brain, watching exactly when they fired. And what he found rewrote the story. Dopamine does not spike when you get the reward. It spikes before, when you are anticipating it, when the reward is coming but has not arrived yet. Dopamine is not the feeling of winning. It is the feeling of maybe about to win. The primatologist Robert Sapolsky described this in a way that makes it almost unbearable to sit with. Give an animal a signal, then a reward, reliably, every time, and dopamine rises at the signal. But make the reward show up only half the time, unpredictable, a coin flip, and the dopamine response does not shrink. It nearly doubles. The uncertainty itself is what floods the system. The maybe is the drug. So your brain releases the most of its craving chemical not when you are rewarded, but when you might be, and do not yet know. Now look at your phone again. You pull it down. Maybe there is a message. Maybe someone liked what you posted. Maybe there is news. Maybe nothing. You do not know until you look, every single time. The feed is different every time you open it. The notification might be something, or it might be nothing at all. Your phone is a lever, and it pays out on a variable schedule. It is a Skinner box that fits in your pocket, and you carry it everywhere, and you press the lever hundreds of times a day. But there is one more piece, and it is the deepest one. Because your ancestors did not only crave information about food and predators, they craved a very specific kind of information above all others. Information about each other. The anthropologist Robin Dunbar asked a strange question. Why do humans talk so much, and what do we actually talk about? He studied it, and the answer was almost embarrassing. We do not mostly talk about ideas, or facts, or the wider world. Roughly 2/3 of all human conversation is about other people. Who did what? Who is with whom? Who rose? Who fell? Who can be trusted? Who cannot? Dunbar argued this is not a flaw. It is the whole point. Other primates bond their groups by grooming each other's fur, one-on-one, for hours at a time. Humans found something more efficient. We groom each other with words. Gossip, in Dunbar's framing, is social glue. It is how our ancestors tracked a web of relationships too large to hold any other way, and staying inside that web was survival. To be cut off from the group's information was to be cut off from the group. And to be cut off from the group, on the ancient savannah, was to be dead. So picture yourself, 50,000 years ago, at the edge of the firelight. The others are talking in low voices. Something happened today. Someone is upset. An alliance shifted. Every fiber of you strains to hear it, to know where you stand, to know who is with you and who is not. That straining, that need to know what is happening with your people, kept your ancestors alive for 100,000 generations. That exact instinct is what lights up when you see a notification. Because now you can hear the whole tribe. All of them. All the time. Here is the twist, and it is the part almost nobody tells you. Your phone habit is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that everything is working exactly as designed. The craving is not a malfunction. It is a 2-million-year-old survival system doing its job perfectly, aimed at a target that was engineered so that it can never rest. Because the ancient savannah had a bottom, the information ran out. You learned what happened at the fire. You knew where you stood, and the hunger quieted. There was a last piece of news each night, and then there was sleep. Your feed has no bottom. It scrolls forever. It refreshes into something new every time you pull it down. There is always one more post, one more update, one more maybe. And the people who build these products know exactly what Skinner knew and exactly what Schultz found. The pull to refresh gesture is a lever. The little red dot on the icon is a maybe. The endless, unpredictable feed is a variable schedule with no last pellet, ever. It is designed, deliberately, to catch an ancient instinct and never let it close the loop. Your ancestors' hunger for information was meant to be satisfied. Yours is being farmed. This is also why willpower feels so useless against it. You are not fighting a bad habit. You are fighting a survival drive that kept your entire lineage alive, now pointed at a machine built by people who studied that exact drive in order to hold it open. Telling yourself to just use your phone less is like telling yourself to just stop being hungry. The hunger was never the problem. It never was. It even explains the phantom buzz. That moment your leg feels a vibration and you reach for a phone that never buzzed at all. Your brain is now so primed for the maybe that it hallucinates the signal, the way a starving mind conjures the smell of food. That is not madness. That is an old alarm, tuned so high it fires at nothing. So what do you do with this? Not shame. Shame is the wrong tool, and it does not work because you are not weak. The move is to see the machinery for what it is. When your thumb reaches for the phone and there is no reason, you can notice it. That is the maybe. That is the lever. That is a 50,000-year-old instinct reaching for a fire that no longer has a bottom. You do not have to obey it. You can let the reach happen and simply not follow it and feel the small, strange relief of the loop staying open and surviving it anyway. Each time you do, the pull loosens a little because it turns out the maybe only rules you while you keep answering it. The goal was never to kill the instinct. It kept your ancestors alive. It is a good instinct. It is just standing at the edge of a fire that was built to never burn out. You reach for your phone. Now you know what is reaching.